Oh, he's got a crowd today.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all? Thank God this is the last show. I can relax. Fantastic. Great to see you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to get the plane from Melbourne to Sydney to pick up the crews, and on the plane I was reading the Qantas magazine, and there was an article there from a rhinoplastic surgeon, an Australian one, living in Los Angeles. And the article was all about the fact that you can be genetically and legally ugly. And it depends on how your ears are divided between your face and whether your nose is straight, whether your eyes have the right circumference between them. And he said that 1 in 3 people are ugly. And I just wonder if you could take some time just to have a quick look to the left and have a quick look to the right. And if they're okay, do the ugly one. Any Americans in the audience? Do you ever get any Canadians? Because you'll do. Okay, I hope you like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please remain upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America.
Anyone know what movie? Excellent, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you before that I started working in the industry in a small country town, a large country town, in a small cinema. And it wasn't very long after I started that I walked into the local Chinese restaurant. And it was 4:30 on a Friday. I was waiting for my good wife, and I knew the owner because we had a bit of a deal going with him, free movie tickets versus free meals. And I walked in and I sat down, and over in the corner I could see Mel Gibson. And I wasn't that surprised as you might think, because I knew that he had a beef cattle property about 45 minutes from where the cinema was. And I also had seen the private Warner Brothers jet at the local airport, and everyone knew that Mel was being picked up, taken to his ranch, brought back to Los Angeles. And my staff had also told me that Mel and his family, he had 7 kids, used to come to the pictures every Tuesday night on Half Price Tuesday, much to my chagrin. Anyway, I sat down and I saw Anthony come over, and he came and, that's the owner of the restaurant, asked me what I'd like to drink. I said, look, I'll have a Crown Lager the same as Mel. And instead of taking my order and going to get the beer, he went over to Mel, and I could see them discussing things, and then Mel beckoned me over. So I go over, and Mel took great pleasure in telling me that the owner of the restaurant had said to him, do you know who's over there? That's Doug Henderson from the cinema. So Mel, of course, was thrilled that I was there. But look, he was a lovely guy, and he said, look, sit down, I've ordered too much food, what about you help me eat it? So we had a lovely chat for about half an hour, all about show business, and he bored me a little bit with cattle property stuff, but overall fantastic, beautiful blue eyes like this gentleman here, really, really good looking young fellow he was at that time. But about half an hour into it, I must have been affected by the 2 Crown Lagers I'd had by then, and I started to quote verbatim out of Variety magazine. Anyone know that? It's a trade magazine for the entertainment industry, and we used to get a float over from America. And I'd only read it this morning, and Mel probably, I thought later in retrospect, I remember that Mel probably didn't get a chance to read it. And it was a review of Mutiny on the Bounty. And it was a very, very uncomplimentary review. But me, with my good memory, I'd remembered everything that the reviewer had said, all the bad stuff, and I trotted it all out. Stuff like, if Mel thinks he's got a career in the movie industry, he's got to learn to act like Anthony Hopkins and not try to yell at Anthony. Yelling isn't acting. all this sort of uncomplimentary stuff. And he took it for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then he got up and he walked out of the restaurant. And I saw him talking to Anthony, who was down at the front desk, for a minute, and then he walked off. And look, I won't say he stormed out, but he wasn't happy, he didn't say goodbye. I didn't really know what I'd done. I went over to my seat and finished my Crown Lager, and Anthony comes along, the owner of the business, and he's got a book in his hand. And I thought, well, he's got Mel's autograph, he wants me to go next to him. $42.50 for 4 Crown Lagers, 2 serves of fried rice, and a sweet and sour pork. And I said to Anthony, what's this $20 here for? And he said, well, Mel told me to put that on. On the way down, Mel had put a $20 tip on and left me with the bill. Unbelievable. So I had paid for Mel Gibson's dinner. Here's a great scene from 1917.
Can't possibly make it that way, man. You're running insane. How are you going to go? No, 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 no.
Fantastic film. Either Sam Mendes or Christopher Nolan. Do you guys know who it was? I think it was Sam Mendes. Anyway, terrific film. So my name is Douglas Henderson, and lovely to be here. Fantastic to be on Ovation of the Seas. What a gig it is, you know. When I first started on this, I thought I might get a little rowboat from Melbourne Botanical Gardens or maybe the Manly Ferry or something, but here I am on Ovation of the Seas. Absolutely terrific. I had 38 years in the industry and really enjoyed it, and I was very lucky. I had 18 years first of all, and then I accepted a retrenchment package, and then as I was going through this substantial amount of money fairly quickly, I received a phone call, and it was from the same people who gave me the retrenchment package, and I was back for another 18 years, so that's pretty lucky really. Today we're going to talk about a few subjects. We're going to move through things as per usual. I've tried to cram a whole lot of stuff in, but I think you'll enjoy it. Here's a little homage to action movie stars. Fantastic. Well, here's a few of my favourite action heroes. Anyone got a favourite? Mine was Harrison Ford, but ever since Tom Cruise jumped off that stadium in Paris at the Olympics, he's won me over, and I think he's a terrific actor and he does a great job. But I do like Harrison Ford in the future, even a few other things. Action movies, they basically got the formula. They have this strong hero that's winning the day. They normally have a bit of a revenge plot. Someone's done something wrong to them, and then about 2/3 into the film they have a training montage. So of course the obvious one is Rocky, but all of them have a sort of a training montage. If you think back to Conan the Barbarian, even Rambo. And then they have lots of car chases and lots of fights, and then it ends in a final showdown. And that's really the action movie in a nutshell. Candy bars. I did tell you the other day that I wanted to talk about candy bars. I expressed to you in the first session that of a $20 movie ticket in the first week, the cinema owner might get $1. The other $19 goes back to the distributors or the big studios. Out of $20 expenditure at the candy bar, the cinema would get around about 25%, so a lot better. So the candy bar is very, very important, and really we just show movies to sell the candy bar product. It's so important to the business because of the high profit margin involved. We have, for most of my years in the senior management, I received a bonus for SPP, that's spend per person in the candy bar. And that's tracked very, very carefully, and that is the number of admissions for the day divided by the total amount spent at the candy bar. That's the SPP. And if I can get the SPP by up 50 cents in a cinema that's doing 500, 600,000 admissions, you're talking about a couple of $100,000. If I can do that across the circuit, I am a legend. So yes, the candy bar is very, very important. Together with the SPP, the spend per person, how you affect that is the average sale, how much people are spending at the candy bar, and the strike rate, how many people you're attracting to the candy bar. So candy bars, very important. Basically we sell 40% Coke, 40% popcorn, and 10% choc tops, and then 10% the rest. So really, popcorn and Coke is 80% of all the revenue taken. And if you look at your average multiplex, anyone got multiplexes near them? Yeah, true. Multiplex is normally about 4 screens or more, but your average 9-screen multiplex would turn over nearly $20 million a year. They would have about 150 staff, and their candy bar would be worth about $2 to $3 million a year. So that's private figures, but that's what happens. Here's a little innovation at a cinema in Dubai. Looks good. Cinema owners are fighting back nowadays. If you haven't been to the cinema for a while, which reminds me, I did say at the start of one of the sessions that I really want to try to reignite or spark an interest in the cinematic experience for you. Has anyone come good? Does anyone feel as if they might go to the cinema a little bit more since they've been to these talks? Oh look, everyone's putting their hands up, fantastic. Terrific. Well, I hope you do. But cinema owners are fighting back, and some of the cinemas nowadays are absolutely magnificent to go into. Of course, they're trying to improve the out-of-home experience. The other thing about the cinema industry is that it's very costly. You've got, rents in these shopping centres are exorbitant, to say the least. You've got $500,000 worth of sound systems. You've got $500,000, $750,000 worth of air conditioning systems. In the 9-screen complex that I was working at only 5, 6, 7 years ago, electricity was $8,000 per week. So a lot of expenses involved, and with a payroll of 150, you can imagine. So we've got to get those candy bars working. Here's a special treat.
Australia. I figured secretly you wanted to know, so I told you. Australia.
What's your grade review?
Oh boy, it's the latest in a long line.
Australia is no better than here.
Oh, that's all you know.
Name me one thing.
Name
Name
me
me
one
one
thing.
station.
Australia.
They
Paul
do.
Newman and Robert Redford.
That's right, smart guys, so we wouldn't be foreigners. Got horses in Australia. How they got thousands of miles we could hide out in. A good climate, nice beaches. You can learn to swim.
No, swimming isn't important. What about the banks?
Easy. Easy, ripe and luscious.
This is the final
Thanks,
song.
Well, once you got one, you got
Blown away.
everything's got to be perfect with you.
I just don't want to get there and find out it stinks. That's all.
At least think about it.
All right. I'll think about it.
Hey, when we get outside, when we get to the horses, just remember one thing. Hey, wait a minute. What? You didn't see the fours out there, did you?
The force. No.
Oh, good. For a moment there, I thought we were in trouble.
Great scene, isn't it? You might remember that Bonnie and Clyde in 1968, that finished on a freeze frame as well, with Faye and Warren getting shot. Now, time for the movie quiz, ladies and gentlemen. And you've got 10 movies to get through, 5 seconds each. Yell them out, call them out. Let me see how smart you are. Awesome. Well done, guys. Let's move on to the action movies. Number 10 film is The Matrix, starring my old friend Keanu Reeves. Keanu had a fair bit of luck, a fair bit of bad luck in his life. His father left him when he was 3. His daughter died at 8 months of age, and his wife was killed in a car accident. So he's had a very rough time. He got $75 million for the 3 Matrix movies, and he shared $50 million of that with the special effects guys. He felt that they weren't being rewarded enough. Here's one of those terrific scenes where he dodges the bullets.
We are under attack!
Only human.
Dodge this.
Still stands up pretty well. Number 9 film is The Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. And everyone has a bad day, even Leo. He went to a nightclub a few years back and he was glassed by a young lady who thought that he was her boyfriend, a Canadian lady as a matter of fact, and she was extradited about 5 years later and got a couple of years in jail. Leonardo had 17 stitches, but proved to be okay.
What are you doing? I'm sorry, I thought it was free. Well, it's not.
Maybe we could share.
Maybe not. Can you pull over and get this?
Come on!
There's $500 in there. The wallet's worth more than that, so you might have to drop it. Stop. I'm afraid.
This wasn't in the design. Cop? Cop?
Terrific. Now we're counting down the top 10 action films, and have you been thinking about what might be number 1? Yell it out if you can. What do you think might be the number 1 action film? Oh, yes, yes. I heard the number 2 film and the number 3 film, and I might have heard the number 1 film. I think a lot of people might have thought that this next film was number 1 and could easily probably slot in there. Terrific film. Anyone see Gladiator 2? Came out November last year. I thought it wasn't a bad film, pretty good. Very hard to beat the Russell Crowe performance though, isn't it? Very hard. And I told the story a couple of sessions ago about Russell Crowe. We put on a bit of a private party for him. He only wanted 3 things: a place to smoke, a carton of VB beer, and he wanted to have a private audience with Darren Hinch and Ron Barassi. He got all those things.
Vivo Portugal! Saludio!
Dirty Harry. Hard to beat, isn't it? I heard some people yell out Dirty Harry before. Clint Eastwood. Here's a little scene.
Oh, shit.
Any Victorians here? You might remember the case of the Faraday kidnapping at the kindergarten. The guys kidnapped 20 kindergarten kids, and evidently it was based on that movie. The people who did the crime said that they were motivated by that movie. Mission Impossible Fallout, Tom Cruise, he's got another one coming out this year, of course. This is a classic movie that featured a lot of audience testing. So all movies, of course, have audience testing, and that's been going on for 60 or 70 years. But this movie was really audience tested right down to the nth degree. And so about 8 weeks before it opened, they kept showing it to testing audiences. It started off at 174 minutes. And the main theme that they got back was that the film's just too long. So they kept cutting it down to 164, down to 152, until finally they made it at 142, and 142 minutes that is, and people really liked it. And then just to double test, they cut it to 130, and people said, no, it's too short. So that's the way it works. It came out at 142 minutes. Here's Tommy doing some of this
But there's
stuff.
no other way Tom would have it. And now Tom is giving us a brand new look at how he made this Mission Impossible awesome. Flying off a ramp, hurtling off a motorcycle
That's hard to
into
believe.
the air. It is a stunt so crazy. It's worth another try, or two, or more.
Tom Cruise just rode a motorcycle off a cliff 6 times today.
I think I can hold to the bike a little longer.
Even then, Tom wasn't satisfied because, as he told us,
All I want to do is have motorcycles and go-karts and parachute. And since I was a little kid, I just want to jump off things. I want to fly, want to go fast cars.
we've only had a brief glimpse of the action sequence in the trailer for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So how did he pull off this latest jaw-dropping, breath-stealing, what in the zinc?
Train and drill every little aspect over and over and over and over again.
500 skydiving.
And the Ovation family, this is Captain Ryan from the bridge, and we have a beautiful day again out here. Celsius air temperature 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and for tomorrow we are looking at 20.
There's some sound coming through there from somewhere.
Captain. It's Captain.
It's Captain.
Just giving an update.
Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies again tomorrow, and sea condition is getting better as we are sailing towards the coast.
He might be in the 12 o'clock report, so I'll keep going. Is that okay? Terrific. Ready for the lost start? Here we are.
Tomorrow morning.
I'll get that. thought had dysentery that day, and he couldn't do the scene as it was written. It was written about 6 pages long, and all sorts of tricks were going to happen. And so they had to cut it short because Harrison wasn't very good, and that's what they came up with. Mad Max, Fury Road. Of course, there was 2 George Millers directing in Australia at the time, but this one has had the Mad Max series and the Happy Feet series. You'll see John Howard soon, that fine Australian actor, not the Prime Minister.
Why are they going back?
No, they wish to surrender.
They're heading for the canyon. They're going back to the citadel. They know it's undefended.
And this is the sequel to the original Alien movie, and in a movie, the start of a movie really is the pitch. That's when someone pitches something, pitches a movie or a story to film studio executives. And this has got a famous pitch to it. James Cameron, he had all the guys at 20th Century Fox sitting around the boardroom. There was a big whiteboard there, and he was pitching for this film, for a sequel to the original one. And all he did was write aliens on the blackboard, and then a stroke down the S to represent a $sign, and then he sat down. That was the end of his pitch.
Get away from her, you bitch!
And Sigourney Weaver only got $1 million for the first one. She wasn't all that wrapped in that, and she took a long time to make up her mind whether she wanted to do the second one. And James Cameron was very frustrated with that, and he then planted to Arnold Schwarzenegger's manager, who he knew was friends with Sigourney Weaver's manager, that he was going to do the film without her, and she signed the next day. This time she got a percentage of the profits and probably would have made her a very rich lady. Number 2 film, Die Hard with Bruce Willis. I mentioned the other day that Bruce Willis has got dementia now, and he's finding it pretty tough. He started in Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd. Do you ever remember that? Yeah. And yeah, so he's quite a good comic actor as well. And this film, John McClane was the director, terrific. Alan Rickman, this was really his major breakthrough film. This is when he was, before that he was a British stage actor. I'll show you some scenes from Die Hard, but there's so much swearing in it, it's very hard to get a scene.
Go to the coast, we get together, have a few laughs. Come on, baby, come to Papa. Drop the dickhead.
Thanks for the advice. Can you identify yourself?
Not now.
Who are you then?
Fly in the ointment, huh? Pain in the ass. Call me Roy. Hey, motherfucker.
Mr. McClane.
My friends call me John.
Okay, here we go. Who's right, who's wrong? Who got it? You guys are close. Tension's building. It's coming. Terminator. Judgment Day. Was that a sigh of disappointment or a sigh of excitement? Anyway, really good film. When you watch it again, you see that it still lives today. The special effects were absolutely enormous. And I was fortunate enough to meet James Cameron. I mentioned the other day that from 1990 to 2010, every second year, myself and sometimes my wife would go over to Las Vegas to the big movie convention called Cinecon. And every alternative year, we'd go to the movie convention in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. But the American one was fantastic because the big studios used to sponsor every day. And so the Disney day would have, you get a show bag full of absolutely everything, and then they put on a great big lunch and a big dinner, and they'd have stars come to the show, and they'd show excerpts from their movies coming up. It was very good. But one day we went and they had a focus session, 3 guys up on the podium. There's only 400 or 500 people of us. And they had James Cameron and George Lucas and Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was the VP of Disney at the time, and they spoke about the future of the cinema industry. Anyway, after that, as we were having lunch, the 3 guys walked around and spoke to the different tables of 20. And we had James Cameron come to our table, and he spoke about the fact that he was waiting on technology before he could do a film. He said he wanted to do this film before Titanic, but didn't get the chance, and he was waiting for technology to catch up. It just didn't match his dream, and of course, found out later on that he was talking about Avatar.
The two has been finessed. We've had a luxury in this movie. We've been able to do what we normally can never do in a movie. We've been able to take what we did in the first time and do it better the second time. I can also say that now, having finished Terminator 2, we could now go back and do Terminator 2 better than we did at this time, the next time around. It's the same endoskeleton. Basically the same design. We could finesse it. You as an audience will not see the differences, but it's much more technically advanced than the endoskeleton in the first movie. It's actually artistically advanced beyond the endoskeleton in the first movie. But these things are subtleties that only we as the artists and technicians will see. Hopefully from an audience standpoint, you'll be seeing just more, but more character because they can do more. There's more life to these endoskeletons, but they're basically the same endoskeleton. We tried to recreate life, and it's impossible. There's nothing that we can do.
Linda Hamilton, who was married to James Cameron 2 years.
Wait here.
Hurry up! They'll kill us all! They'll kill us all! They'll kill us all!
Come with me if you want to live.
It's okay, Mom. She need help. It's okay.
Go!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is my final. I might like to just briefly tell you that each show took about 100 hours to produce. So it's 5 shows, there's 500 hours, and we've got 10 shows. And I'll tell you that, not for any sympathy or anything, but just to let you know that as a former paying cruise passenger, and I've been on plenty of cruises, when I'm a passenger, I'm expecting a good show. I'm expecting a really good show. And so I put as much time as I could and effort into it to try to meet those sort of expectations. You guys have been a lot of fun. It's been great. If I had one final wish, it would be that Louis and you guys down there, Debbie and Peter, David's here, Sabrina's not here, you guys up there, every one of you enjoyed the shows as much as I did doing them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you guys.
That was great.